Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really captivating piece of fiction. We're looking at excerpts from Emma Cline's novel, The Guest.
Yeah, that's quite something.
So imagine meeting someone who, well, on the surface, seems to be living this perfect summer dream. That's Alex.
Right.
She's, found herself with an older man, Simon, in this absolutely gorgeous, wealthy Hamptons-like community.
Yeah.
But the reality is, well, it's far from idyllic.
Not at all.
Beneath that sort of sparkling facade, there's this constant, almost suffocating undercurrent of anxiety. Alex is navigating a really precarious present, desperately trying to outrun a past that's like right on her heels. It feels like a high-stakes performance.
It really is. And the question isn't if the veneer will crack, but, when.
Exactly.
So our mission here really is to unpack exactly how Alex navigates this incredibly fragile existence. We want to explore the elaborate social performance she maintains, her shifting identities, and these fascinating, sometimes chilling survival tactics she uses. Ultimately, we want to uncover the true cost, the cost of living a life built on borrowed time and a very, very fragile sense of belonging. What does it actually take?
That's right. We're going to sift through the layers of her story, from moments of maybe surprising vulnerability to really calculated deception, and see what nuggets of insight we can maybe glean about human nature, the allure of privilege, and, well, the lengths people go to simply feel fine.
Just fine.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
So when we first meet Alex, she's pretty firmly embedded at Simon's place, and the setting itself is almost a character.
Oh, definitely.
The descriptions are so vivid. Living room ceiling was 20 feet high, cut with beams, a polished concrete floor.
Yeah, and those big paintings that implied high value. It's not just luxury, it's a statement.
It really is.
It's this almost overwhelming display of wealth. And what's truly fascinating, I think, is how Alex perceives it and what uses it. Well, she wants to be seen as a normal girl, a normal young girl enjoying her life in the city, but it's a full-time performance, right?
Totally.
She's incredibly astute about the invisible contexts of wealth. She gets that the value of art, for example, was based on a network of factors that were constantly in flux.
It's such a sharp observation in the text.
It is, and this isn't just about Alex being shrewd. It gives you this chilling insight into how that kind of high society can operate, where belonging isn't really about intrinsic worth.
Yeah.
It's more about understanding this unspoken, constantly shifting rule book.
And that shrewdness, that awareness, it seems to stem from a place of really deep desperation.
Yeah, absolutely.
The novel quickly peels back the layers to show the life she's fleeing in the city. And the details are visceral, almost painful.
Yeah, like the recurring sty that drooped her left eyelid unpleasantly.
Right, and sensing that strangers were giving her a certain look, that her charm was maybe losing its potency.
Avoiding places, certain hotel bars, restaurants.
And her money situation was just collapsing.
Yeah.
Her cash flow fell precipitously. Thinking about breast augmentation, rewriting her ad copy, dropping her rates, just trying to survive.
And then that desperate past is just intrinsically linked to the threat of Dom, her ex, that escalating threat.
Yeah, Dom.
His messages having that eerie psycho register
Right.
and that terrifying memory of him waking her with his hands on her throat.
It really makes you ask how much of Alex's current situation, this precariousness, is a direct result of her past actions.
Right.
And how much is simply a desperate flight from Dom.
It's hard to fully untangle, isn't it? But the text suggests this kind of dangerous synergy where her choices lead her into situations that then become her only escape route.
It's a complex and frankly terrifying web. So her meeting with Simon then, it feels less like just a chance encounter.
Oh, definitely not chance.
And more like a meticulously planned escape hatch.
Sure.
She makes these calculated moves, hitting all the correct beats, accepting a real drink, even covering her mouth, as if she were especially shy.
Yeah.
That line, she disappeared herself. It had been easy. That's incredibly telling, I think.
It really is. She just erased her past self to step into this new manufactured role.
Yeah.
Disappeared herself. That phrase just perfectly captures her strategy. It's presented almost like a smooth transaction.
Right.
Her core belief seems to be that most everyone preferred the story. That's central to how she survives.
She gives them what they want to see.
Exactly. She has this uncanny ability to draw people in with a vision of themselves, recognizable but turned up 10 degrees, amplified into something better.
Well,
It's not about being authentic at all. It's about giving people this upgraded version of themselves they maybe didn't even know they wanted.
And in doing that, she makes herself indispensable.
Or at least temporarily desirable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So as Alex settles into this, borrowed life, the cracks in her carefully constructed facade, they inevitably start to appear.
Yeah, you can't keep that up forever.
One of the first big moments is that car incident, the fender bender. She's driving Simon's car, hits a stone retaining wall, and cracks his cherry red taillight. And what's striking is her immediate, almost cold calculation of how childish she'd have to act to escape his anger. It's such a stark insight into her transactional way of thinking.
And it is. And this incident, it's not just about a broken taillight, is it? It really highlights her profound self-deception.
And selective memory.
Totally. Selective memory. She consciously tries to reshape reality, actively wanting to make it so the tape started at the beach lot, the drive home uneventful, the real ending with Alex parking the car.
Just edit it out.
Yeah, just edit it out. This kind of mental editing, this desire to rewrite your own narrative. Well, it's not unique to Alex, maybe. It speaks to a fundamental human thing, avoiding uncomfortable truths.
Right.
But for her, it's like survival depends on it. The psychological cost of living in that kind of self-made fantasy must be just immense.
Yeah, absolutely. So the narrative then sweeps us into Helen's party, and the setting is just pure Hamptons opulence.
Oh, yeah. Candles flickering.
Yeah.
Tables set up on the terrace.
And Helen herself is quite the character.
Yeah.
Daffy, with professionally blasted skin.
Yeah.
And that dramatic cape streaming down her back. It's a slightly caricatured image, but very vivid, of this world of extreme wealth.
Totally. And amidst this almost cartoonish luxury, we see this concept of interlopers explicitly shown.
Right, the couple who get kicked out.
Exactly. They're ejected from the sphere where they didn't belong. And that scene just chillingly mirrors Alex's own deepest fear.
You feel her tension.
You do. Her vigilance in scanning the guests for familiar, potentially problematic faces is constant. And what's intriguing is she actually takes something, a small piece of stone carved to smoothness, which she drops into her bag at this party.
Huh. Like a souvenir? Or maybe.
It's almost like a physical manifestation of her precariousness, you know? A tiny stolen piece of this world she might be ejected from at any second.
Wow. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. After Simon, basically, if indirectly kicks her out.
Yeah, the party incident is the trigger.
Alex shifts her base of operations. She ends up at George's house. And this is where we meet Nicholas.
Nicholas, right. George's house manager, described as handsome in a boring, professional way.
His job is to take care of things.
And he becomes Alex's next temporary anchor.
Very temporary.
Very temporary. And Alex very quickly spots Nicholas's agreeable nature, his discretion, as something she can absolutely exploit.
She's good at spotting weaknesses or maybe usable traits.
She fabricates the story about fighting with Simon and specifically asks him, not telling George I'm here.
Using vulnerability as a tool.
Exactly. It's not genuine emotion. It's a calculated tool to gain sympathy and secure her position, even if it's based on a complete lie. She's constantly adapting her story for whoever is in front of her.
And her brazenness, her almost, sociopathic detachment, it really comes through with the infamous painting incident.
Oh, the painting, yeah.
At George's house, she deliberately presses the pad of her index finger to a line of blue on a valuable artwork, leaving a scratch.
Does it?
And then feels like she's getting high off this, a contact high from its estimated value. It's just pure transgression.
It's chilling, isn't it? And the contrast there is so stark.
Between her and Nicholas.
Yeah. Alex's indifference to the damage is startling, while Nicholas's reaction is almost tearful, like a scared little boy.
Right.
It really raises an important question for us, I think. What does this reveal about Alex's moral compass? Or maybe the erosion of it?
Versus Nicholas's inherent character.
Exactly. For Alex, it seems to be about the thrill of transgression, asserting this kind of illicit control over something untouchable. For Nicholas, it's about the sanctity of the object, the order he's supposed to maintain. It makes you wonder how differently people perceive value depending on their position.
And their desperation level.
Absolutely.
So with her time at George's house clearly coming to an end after that.
Yeah, that wasn't going to last.
Alex drifts further into the unfamiliar. She encounters Jack.
Jack, the angelically blonde boy with braces.
He's 19, and she notes his babyish mouth. This feels like a very different dynamic than her relationship with Simon.
Completely different. Now she's the older, more experienced one.
Yeah.
And Alex finds this temporary haven at Jack's family's unused pool house, which is such a stark contrast to Simon's curated luxury, right?
Totally different vibe.
This move just highlights her opportunistic nature again. She seamlessly shifts from one solution to another, adapting her environment, her persona.
Whatever she needs to survive.
Exactly. It's this continuous pursuit of the next soft landing spot.
And she quickly exerts influence over Jack, who seems, well, kind of ripe for it.
He really does.
We learned about his psycho dad, his forced gap year, his meds.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex observes that despite his insecurities, underlying it all was the certainty that the world would be generous in its orientation toward him.
That privilege.
Yeah, he's this privileged kid who's never really faced real hardship, which makes him incredibly susceptible to Alex's manipulations. He just exists in a world where things always kind of work out for him.
And that susceptibility leads directly to Jack's bizarre kidnapping scheme to get money from his dad.
Oh, God, yeah. That whole plan.
Alex's reaction to this outlandish idea is quite telling, I think. It's ridiculous enough that it seemed like a joke.
Like, is this for real?
Exactly. It demonstrates the increasing desperation in their situation and the dangerous blurring lines between fantasy and reality for both of them.
Yeah, they're both willing to entertain these increasingly wild ideas, hoping one of them actually sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, through all this, the constant shadow of Dom persists.
He's always there.
His texts, his calls, he knows she's out east. Alex tries to rationalize it to herself, thinking she didn't need to be afraid. Not out here. Anyway, not right this minute.
But you feel the threat. It's palpable. It's like this ticking clock, a constant reminder of the past she cannot fully outrun no matter how far east she goes.
Right.
And her internal state really reflects this growing instability. Time had started to feel a little slurred, a little unreal.
No.
She's increasingly relying on drugs, the painkiller fuzz from Simon's pills she stole, and the Molly with Nicholas to create this steady hum of nothing, or sometimes a pearled line of possibility stretching on without end.
Wow, that dissociation.
Exactly. At times she even felt that she did not exist. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, her continuous pursuit of just feeling fine, it's achieved through this profound disconnection from reality and ultimately from herself. She's seeking not happiness, but just an absence of pain, an emotional numbness.
Yeah, just numbness. Eventually, as they say, the chickens come home to roost. We hit that moment of truth with Jack's failed safe plan.
The big reveal, or non-reveal.
He finally admits there's no safe. I don't know why I said there was.
Yeah.
Alex's internal reaction is described as a gag of rage appeared, then disappeared.
She keeps it down.
Her composure is still there, just about. But the desperation is clearly rising, and that fragile control is definitely slipping.
And that slipping control then manifests in a literal crash, doesn't it?
It does. On the way to Simon's party, she and Jack are in a car crash. Hit a guardrail, the bumper's smashed, and Jack's just distraught. Fuck, my dad's gonna be so mad.
Typical kid reaction.
Yeah, but Alex's detachment, asking how long before someone else deals with this. It's chilling.
It really is. That car crash is almost a perfect metaphor for her life, isn't it?
Absolutely. Chaos damage.
And this expectation that someone else will inevitably clean up her mess. Her whole existence has been like a series of spectacular self-inflicted fender benders.
Yeah. Undeterred, though, Alex embarks on this desperate walk to Simon's Labor Day party.
She's still going.
Her phone is ringing off the hook calls from both Dom and Jack, but her internal monologue is still fixated on denial.
Still trying to control the narrative in her head.
Yeah, clinging to the belief that she could forget the boy, she could forget Dom, she'd forget it all with a little effort. She genuinely seems to believe she can just erase the past and will a new reality into being.
But the reality is crushing. Utterly undeniable when she gets there.
Oh, that arrival scene.
Her arrival at Simon's party builds to this really profound, heart-wrenching moment. Alex expects Simon to be cleaving across the grass to meet her, to kiss her, to welcome her back into the illusion.
The fantasy ending.
Exactly. But the reality is just devastatingly different. Simon didn't move.
Whew.
Okay. Her smile cracked wider. Okay. Simon had been waiting for her. She would go to him. He was waiting for Alex, and all she had to do was walk over. Now, she told herself, willing her limbs to work. She didn't move. Now.
That paralysis. It's brutal.
It underscores this profound, unbridgeable chasm between her desperate hopes and the utterly indifferent reality she's facing. Simon has moved on. Her grand performance has failed.
But even in this moment of, like, utter collapse, her self-deception continues, doesn't it?
It does, right to the end. Lori, Simon's house manager, welcomes Alex stiffly.
Yeah.
The pool, once the symbol of luxury, is now described as a murky gunmetal without a clear lip, almost menacing.
And Alex has that fleeting thought, did George know about the ruined painting?
Right, and immediately tells herself, no. She told herself no. And maybe this wasn't George. No way to be sure. It probably wasn't. Of course it wasn't. Everything was fine. She kept smiling.
Wow. Just keep smiling.
It's this truly desperate attempt to maintain her manufactured reality, to keep the fragile pieces of her world from shattering completely, even when they already have.
So what does this all mean in the end? Where does that leave her and us?
Well, Alex's ultimate predicament is really a direct result of her constant self-deception and that relentless performance. She clings to the idea that everything would go back to how it was.
Right.
But as we've seen throughout these excerpts, the past, and indeed her own actions, have this undeniable gravitational way of catching up.
There's no escaping it.
Seems not.
Yeah.
There's that final, really poignant thought that maybe some things could never be erased. Maybe they tinted some cellular level of your experience. It suggests that even if she tries to forget, the consequences of her choices are embedded deep within her. They're an inescapable part of who she has become.
What an astonishing journey through Alex's world. It truly leaves us wondering about the true cost of chasing a manufactured reality.
Yeah.
And the incredible, exhausting effort it takes to maintain one.
Alex constantly tries to control her narrative, right, believing that everything would go back to how it was. But as we've seen in the past, her own actions, they have a way of catching up.
Often violently.
Often violently, stripping away those carefully constructed illusions.
Her story is such a powerful exploration of identity and class and just the sheer lengths one goes to survive, or maybe just to feel fine, even when everything is demonstrably falling apart around them.
It really prompts us to consider what truly defines belonging, you know? And can genuine security ever truly be found by simply outrunning the chaos?
Or do you have to confront it?
Or does it require finally confronting the very things you've been desperately trying to escape? That seems to be the lingering question.
A powerful question to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.